Welcome to this tutorial for the Project Timeline Tracker. This spreadsheet will help you to organize and complete any project by breaking it down into manageable tasks, whether it's school assignments, work projects, or personal projects like home improvement or vacation planning. It helps you track tasks, manage deadlines, and visualize everything in the clean and easy-to-see timeline. This versatile tool turns your goals into actionable timelines, so you can easily stay on top of every detail and achieve success. Now that you've seen what the finished project looks like, let's start filling it out from scratch. I'll guide you step by step and you'll see just how easy it is to create a timeline that works for you. So, we will use a home renovation project for our example, but you can track any tasks with this tracker. First, let's set our entire project timeline starting from the 18th of October, and the project and end date shall be 18th of February, so this project will span exactly 4 months. We will skip the field's project name, project manager, project phase, and project status. But feel free to use these for your own projects to provide helpful context. So, we will begin with phase 1 and we will call it planning and budgeting. And this is where we define our goals, figure out costs, and get everything in order before starting the renovation. Let's set this phase to run from 18th of October to 31st of October, giving us roughly 2 weeks to make these decisions. Let's add first task, define a budget. The start date should be also October 18th. The end date is 20th of October, and the priority we will set as high, and the task owner will be me. The next task is to research inspiration. Start date is 20th of October, finish date 23rd of October. Now the priority will be medium and task owner will be my partner. Notice that we have drop-downs for priority and task owner. If you want to customize these drop-downs, let me show you can do it in the Setup tab. You can easily add or edit these values. For example, adding a new priority level like urgent, or including a new team member. So let's update these values by adding new priority called urgent and task owner, contractor Mike. So as you can see now, we have urgent in the priority dropdown available and contractor Mike in task owner dropdown. So any changes here will update across the entire tracker. If priorities or task owners aren't needed for your project, you can also hide these columns to keep things clean and focused. It's up to you. For my case, let's hide these columns for now just to keep things simple. Now, let's also add the remaining tasks for phase 1, which will be consult contractors, list materials needed, and finalize renovation plan. Since we've added all these tasks needed for the phase 1, let's go ahead and hide extra rows to keep the view clean. You can do that by selecting all these rows, right-clicking and choosing the option Hide Rows. Now this view looks much better. Let's move on to the second phase, which we will be preparation, and this phase will run from November 1st until November 30th, so a full month to prepare for the renovation work. The tasks for phase 2 will be order materials, clear renovation area, get permits, set timeline with contractors, prepare temporary space where we will move things. So these will be the tasks for the phase 2, and similarly, let's just hide these rows. Now the next phase is number 3, and in this phase we'll do the actual renovation work. This phase will run from December 1st until end of January, giving us 2 months to do all of the actual renovation. The tasks will be demolition, electrical work, installing the new fixtures, painting walls, and lastly the final inspection. Now we've planned out the first 3 phases, and since we don't need more phases, let's just group and hide the remaining phases to keep our spreadsheet organized. But if you would like to add more tasks or break down to more phases, then you can always do that. So for now, let's just group hide them by clicking on the Hide Rows button here on the side. This is a good time to discuss one of the checkboxes that you can use, which is the Count ISO Weeks Number checkbox. So if it is left unchecked as it is now, it will count the weeks starting from the project start date. However, if we select this checkbox, it uses the ISO week standard system, where weeks within the year are numbered 1 to 52. This can be particularly useful if you're working across regions and use different week standards. Since we've set up all the tasks and their respective dates, you can see them mapped visually in the timeline using Gantt style. This allows you to see dependencies, overlapping tasks, and where your attention is needed the most. So basically, as you can see here, Each of these are our individual tasks within the phase, while this darker line indicates the whole length of the phase. It is also important to mention that our timeline currently supports up to 1 year. Let's change our end date to actually be more than 1 year. Let's say the end of the October 2025, which will trigger an error because it exceeds the default time limit. Here's how to fix it. Simply add the extra number of columns specified in the error to extend the timeline. So in our case, it says that we should insert 5 more columns. So to do that, let's just scroll all the way to the end here and select these columns. Right-click them and choose the option Insert Columns to the right. So let's repeat this. We need a couple more columns. Now you can also click Insert Columns, insert 1 column to the right. As you can see here, we have inserted enough columns, but let's fix the formatting real quick. We can select one of these non-filled cells, click the paint format, and apply to the rest of the cells, like so. This will make it look much nicer, and what you have to do now is select this 1 week, like so, and just drag here to extend it. This is how we can add extra columns to support longer project, in case that if you have a project that stems 1 and 1.5 of year or 2 years. This project timeline tracker can easily track long tasks, and you can easily add a longer time span. Let's touch on the tracking progress. As you complete each task and mark it as done, the overall project completion bar updates, so it's a quick way to visually track how much progress you have made. And there's also progress bars for each individual phases, which helps you track how close you are to completing individual items within each of the phases. This makes it easy to identify where you may need to allocate extra time or save resources. Finally, I would also like to touch upon the color coding of the dates. So the dark purple indicates today's date, while the light blue indicate past dates, and the gray color indicates the future dates. This way you can easily understand where you are within your project. To wrap things up, I can say that this tracker is a powerful and flexible tool that helps you break down any projects into manageable timeframes, whether it's personal or professional project. So go ahead and start planning your project today, tweak it, customize it, and make it yours. With the Project Timeline Tracker, you'll see how a little organization can help turn your goals into real accomplishments.